Hello and welcome to the Blockade Runner podcast. My name is John. With me this morning is Ryan,
Good morning.
sporting a pretty sweet WWE shirt, which is appropriate, sort of, slightly for our discussion this morning.
Mm.
Um,
I
but
mean, we all know what WWE stands for.
we do, and we all know that the solo trailer that released 2 weeks ago now
Hmm.
should from henceforth be referred to as the Mania, the WrestleMania trailer.
Hmm.
I saw some people referring to it as being linked to some television program that airs on Sunday nights on, I don't know, broadcast television. But the Sunday that solo trailer came out was WrestleMania Sunday to us.
Hmm.
That's part of the reason we haven't talked about it yet together. Is because we were busy with WrestleMania. So I did like a little solo show about the solo trailer.
Hmm.
But
Appropriate.
yeah, exactly. I almost feel like you're not subscribed to our podcast by the tone of that. This is the first I'm hearing of it, you know. But
No, I have it. I have it in my in my feed. I haven't listened to it.
oh, okay, well, yeah, that's all right. I just wanted to make sure you know that these get recorded and put out on
Mm.
podcast apps and stuff. So
Yeah.
actually, speaking of that, we switched our feed, and maybe I'll mention that again at the end of the at the show. But we switched from our previous podcast host to a new podcast host. So I guess the only way you'd hear me bring that up is if you gotten this episode. But if there are any bugs or kinks in the road as far as new episodes coming out, let us know, because I think it all went over smoothly, and the shows are still going where they're supposed to go and getting to who they're hopefully getting to. But it's always it was a pretty nerve-wracking thing to take like 2.5 years worth of shows and however many few listeners we've accumulated over that time and move it to a new feed. Like, oh, I hope I don't break anything or lose those shows, or I think it's all working. But yeah, if there's any problems that you're aware of as a listener, let us know, because it's all new now.
Mm.
But yeah, maybe I'll bring that up again at the end, because there's some cool stuff about the new platform. But for now, let's talk about the Solo: A Star Wars Story trailers and TV spots. Like I said, I did a show about the big trailer. Ryan, like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Your reaction to that first new big trailer that these TV spots are all kind of like children of. What do you think about that Mania trailer? What was your reaction?
Yeah. I mean, Solo is a movie that I want to see. Um.
Okay, I guess it was fine that I just went ahead and did that show on my own then.
Yeah. Yep. That's my big takeaway. Is yeah. I'm gonna see this movie.
Okay.
Um. Hopefully they'll let us actually buy tickets soon.
Yeah, I'm hearing, everyone's hearing, if they're paying attention to the rumors. I have no inside
Mhm.
sources, but rumors are pointing to May 4th as a ticket sales date, which would
That
make
would make
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Yes. Rumors are also pointing to that date as the announcement date of the next Star Wars celebration. So we'll see if that's true or not. I hope so. But yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking May 4th, but we'll see. It's got to be pretty soon, because I think it's movie comes out 4 weeks from Thursday. So it's got to be soon.
Yeah, and I know we're going to talk kind of specifically about some of the more recent TV spots that have happened since the Mania trailer, but I guess this is kind of applicable to all of it. I I don't know about you, but like my head is already spinning with like the possibilities from this movie. Um, just in like I've I've heard a lot of talk, and it seems like a lot of the general consensus is that this is just going to be like a super fun, lighthearted like romp. And I like maybe, and that's what the that is what the trailers seem to be like implying. But I don't know. There's also like some stuff that I think it might take a darker, more cynical turn towards the end, just knowing what we know about the character. And what we know about these other characters. Like I mean, it's not like it's not like in A New Hope, like Kira and Beckett are still like hanging around with Han Solo. Um, I don't know what their fates are or where their allegiances ultimately lie. But we do know that Han Solo is a pretty jaded dude by the time we get to A New Hope. So I don't know if this movie is going to be, the moment that kind of shapes him into the character he is at the beginning of A New Hope, or this is 10 years, like roughly 10 years before Episode 4. I mean, maybe there's other stuff that happens in like the interim there, but I don't know. Like I'm really wondering if if this is where we see like that turn. I think in Star Wars movies, thinking specifically about like Episode 3 and Rogue One, like there's definitely like a tonal shift in the last act of those movies, and I'm wondering if Solo is going to be like that.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we'll get into the TV spots and talk about some of the specific lines in those. But I think that pretty much ever since this Mania trailer, if not before, but definitely since the Mania trailer, which it henceforth shall always be known as, they've been there's been like a line or something that hints at that in every single trailer that there's going to be some betrayal happening. So I think that'll be the case. I do think that all these most recent TV spots and stuff have made the movie, they've doubled down on the idea that the movie is going to be fun and funny, which is exciting to me personally, because that's, really something I'm looking forward to in Solo. But yeah, I do think it has the potential to be mostly really funny and really fun, but also have like a tearjerker moment or two, which I think would be great also. I don't want to, I don't want to be unrealistic or get my hopes up too much, or sort of like build up in my head what the movie is until I see it, and then be disappointed. But there's all this talk, there has been like talk over the last year or two from people within Lucasfilm saying like, Phil Shostak, I think, said that this is like the thing he's most excited about, or his favorite of the new projects in the Disney era. And then you had somebody from ILM, I forget the name now who it was, but pretty important kind of legacy person from ILM said like last year that it was one of the best scripts he'd ever read, and definitely the best Star Wars script he'd ever read, So if it's just silly and fun, like, that's all it is, then I have trouble understanding like how it would be that amazing of, a script or whatever. I don't know. I guess like Raiders of the Lost Ark is like one of the best scripts ever, and it's mostly just funny, but there's some emotional stuff in there. So, that might be a good example of what we're looking at. But yeah, I think, and the other thing too, and I should have pulled the quotes, but the most recent Star Wars show, last week's Star Wars show, was fantastic, and it featured an interview with Lawrence Kasdan and John Kasdan. And I think it was John Kasdan said something along the lines of like, this is the movie where we get to see how, that's a bad paraphrasing of what he said, but essentially, yeah, confirmed the fact that you're going to see kind of how he became the Han Solo we know in A New Hope in this movie. So I think there's got to be some of that stuff you were talking about, like elements in this movie that demonstrate sort of how he became like the more jaded version, or the more jaded Han Solo he is in the original trilogy. So yeah, I think that'll happen. But speaking of like betrayal and stuff like that, the first TV spot is called Crew. And I guess the theme of this one is the idea of the crew coming together here for whatever kind of job or jobs they're going to do in the movie. but this one's got like a definitely like a heavy focus on Chewbacca, which is great. The first kind of joke with Chewie there is like when Han asks him like, "What's your name anyway?" Which you know, that stuff is cool. It's a little bit like, are they gonna have a moment in this movie to reveal sort of every little detail about the backstory and stuff like that? Makes me a little nervous. Although that's another thing that John and Lawrence Kasdan said on that on the Star Wars show this week was like, we never went into this movie thinking, well, we're going to write this movie so that we can like fill in the backstory of the characters. We just went into it thinking like, basically like Han's a great character, Chewie's a great character. We could have a lot of fun writing a movie about these characters at a different point in their life, not like we got to solve every little, mysterious part of their backstory. So hopefully there's not too much of that going on. But then Han also has that line to Chewie, like, you think everything sounds like a bad idea, which just, I guess those two lines on their own are not like that amazing or anything, but it just, it definitely kind of indicates that relationship between them is going to be a big deal in Solo. And how could it not be? But I don't know. It's just nice to see that stuff in the trailer, I think. So that's cool. We also see this droid open up his belly and pull something out of it. And I just finished a couple weeks ago Han Solo at Star's End. And I know you picked that one up, Ryan, but I don't think you've had time to read it yet, right?
I have not.
Yeah. So Han Solo at Star's End, there's this droid or two droids in that book. And I forget their names at the moment, but the one is like a bigger droid and he's got like this compartment in his belly and it opens up. And then this other like smaller droid, which is like the brains of the operation or whatever, is like housed in there. So it's like a way of sneaking the droid around. And I think I went back and looked at this a couple times in the crew trailer, but I think it's probably just a droid opening up his belly and pulling something out. But it did make me think like, oh man, I wonder if they went back to like Star's End and like pulled stuff like that out. It'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you think that's Warwick Davis launching that rocket in that one little shot? Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I can't picture it.
Oh, okay. Bummer. Well, there's a moment too where like, there's a guy with a big rocket launcher and it kind of looks like Warwick Davis, like a lot. I think it might be Warwick Davis. So, that'd be cool. Yeah. Although I think I had heard that Warwick Davis is playing a droid in this movie, so maybe not, but, it did seem to like it could be Warwick. So, I don't know. Yeah. And then let's see what else is cool in this trailer. They hit the Intergalactic Denny's kind of card game room or whatever, which I think is pretty cool. Did you get a Zuvio vibe from the guy shuffling his cards, or you don't remember that one? I thought it was pretty Zuvio-esque.
Yeah, I think this movie has a lot of potential Zuvios. This is kind of Zuvio the movie, in a way. Yeah, I'm watching now, and
look for Warwick.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the rocket. Okay, so I'm looking at the dude. He does have a very similar hat.
Yeah.
To Zuvio. He could potentially be a constable.
A constable. Yeah, maybe he's a constable. I was gonna say I'm not arguing that it is Zuvio.
No. But yeah, he could be a constable.
It's got a similar look. Yeah, it could be a constable, right? Well put. But he's got a flair for shuffling cards as well, so that's pretty cool. And then last thing I pulled out of this crew TV spot that I thought was great, and my favorite part, maybe of any of the trailers so far, honestly, like just a great moment, is Han showing off his sabacc hand to, I'm assuming it's sabacc, showing off his sabacc hand to Chewie, and Chewie making this like disgusted, like, oh no kind of noise.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty great and really funny. Yeah.
That is great. I like
that was another thing that came up on the Star Wars show this week. I'll just keep mentioning that. Maybe I'll drop some clips in the audio version, but that was another thing that came up, is that they wrote like actual lines of dialogue for Chewie for every line that he has. And so I think and Jonas Soetamo, who plays Chewbacca, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago on the Star Wars show. So if you're not watching it, you really should go back and check out the last couple of episodes, because lots of good solo stuff. It was Jonas was on one week, and then they had Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover another week, and then this last week they had Lawrence Kasdan and John Kasdan. So pretty good stuff. I don't know how they're going to follow it up. They maybe you're going to have like Harrison Ford on next week or something, or George Lucas maybe, to because if it keeps ramping. Oh well, Ron Howard. Sorry, Ron Howard. That would be a good one. And Kathleen Kennedy maybe. But anyway, oh yeah, Jonas. He can kind of like speak English lines like in a Wookiee voice. So like he'll say the lines in English but sound kind of like a Wookiee too. So that was pretty interesting to see. And then knowing like every time there's like an interaction like that between Han and Chewie in the movie, during filming, it seems like Jonas would have been like delivering the line in English for Alden to react to. So, yeah. But like I said, this TV spot crew, it just seems to be like the big emphasis on Han and Chewie and their relationship. And, I think that's got the potential to be one of the best parts of the movie. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. The next one came out I think the Crew TV spot came out last Sunday, so like a week ago, and then the Risk one came out maybe 2 or 3 days later, which is the next one. It's called Risk, and these are both on the official Star Wars YouTube channel. My first favorite part from the Risk TV spot is Lando's line to, I think, Kira he's talking to, but he says, what are you doing with Harry and the boy? And I thought that was a pretty great line for, like, it was just funny.
Yeah.
I like the idea of him referring to Chewbacca that way, like with like that little nickname or pet name.
It makes me think of Harry and the Hendersons, though.
Yeah, I guss so. That's true. Or recently departed Harry Anderson from Night Court. I don't know if your mind went there or not.
No.
No, but I don't know. I just like, I don't know if that implies a past relationship between him and Lando, if that implies that Lando like disrespects Chewie, so he's just going to call him like Harry, or if it's like a term of endearment or whatever.
Maybe he's racist against Wookiees.
I don't think he is. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think he is. But the part where or the reference to Han Solo as the boy too, I think that's cool. Like that could potentially I don't know, just kind of demonstrate like a hierarchy within that relationship, like I'm Lando, I have this like beautiful black and silver scarf that I wear. Everything you've heard about me is true. And also you're this child over here who doesn't know how to, like exist in the way that I do or whatever. So
I never really thought about there being like an age gap between Han and Lando.
Yeah. But I think it might be one of those things where like, okay, let's say that we are 5 years apart in age. We're actually the same age, but let's say we're 5 years apart in age. Like Kevin, one of the oldest people I know. He's like 2 years older than me, I think, only.
Yeah.
But like if I would have met him when I was 16 and he was like, I was a sophomore or a junior in high school and he was like a freshman in college, it's like this giant gap between us. You know what I mean? And now it's like completely negligible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think maybe it's one of those things, because if Han's like 18 the first time he meets Lando and Lando's like even 25 or something, like, there's a whole lot of living between 18 and 25 that Han would not have done at that point,
Sure.
So yeah.
Sure.
So maybe it's something like that. L3 gets a line in there, and L3's got a line or two in the Mania trailer also. But she asks Lando if he's done flirting.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, is it flirting with Han, flirting with Chewie, flirting with Kira? Like, who is Lando flirting with here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
He does watch the movie to find out.
Yeah, he gets a pretty embarrassed look on his face. And Han and Chewie are in the cockpit there, so I would guess it's in reference to Kira, who's like not you know, like she's down the hall or something. But I am just excited about the prospect of Lando flirting. I don't really care with whom, but the idea of
Oh
him.
man, well, you are going to love Last Shot.
Is that right?
If you're into Lando flirting. Woo.
Okay,
We'll talk about that book more in a bit, but yeah.
Okay, well, even more evidence. He'll flirt in Solo: A Star Wars Story then, since I'm sure Last Shot is in response to the movie and not the other way around. But that's cool.
It's great hearing L3. Very always appreciate a sassy droid. It feels like L3 is going to kind of fill that K2SO role here.
It's hard to imagine it's hard to imagine, like, I feel like K2SO is the logical conclusion of how great like something like that could be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
K2SO is so good. But I've heard, you know, there's been scuttlebutt too about L3 being like even like a better, you know, droid than K2SO, and like the relationship between Lando and L3 being more significant potentially than like the relationship between Cassian and K2SO and stuff like that. So, man, I don't know.
I think sassy droids are just an element of Star Wars now, and I think K2SO just raised the bar, and now it's just like we gotta have this in there. Like it's as crucial as, you know, lightsabers or anything else.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think that they have to obviously kind of have like different personalities and not be like a riff on the same thing all the time. And it kind of seems like K2 and L3. I'm sure once the movie's out, they won't feel that similar. But right now, it definitely kind of feels like just like a female version of K2SO. And one of the things that's great about K2SO is like how different he is from C3PO. You know, it was like surprising, and it was because C3PO is kind of, maybe sassy is not the right word, but he certainly has plenty of personality, you know, but in a completely different way from K2. So
R2 is the sassy one,
right.
But we don't get like the translation of R2's.
Well, and R2's got a ton of personality, you know what I mean? Like very unique, distinct personality. And I'm sure L3 will also, but I hope they don't go to the same well every single like Star Wars movie. Like have a droid with a ton of personality, but you know, maybe the next one could be like, I don't know, really like, well, that's C3PO actually. I was gonna say really neurotic, like, oh, we got one of those. They'll work it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with them going back to the sassy droid. Well, I can't get enough of it. You know, even there's so many examples, like it's just even in like the comics and stuff, in like Darth Vader and Dr. Aphra. Aphra's droids are pretty wonderful, and they definitely have personality and are definitely very sassy, and like murderous. And like, I don't know, I'm totally okay with it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I definitely think L3 has the potential to be like a standout character here, and you know, a really great element of the film. So I'm excited for that. And I'm not really very familiar with the actress who is playing L3, but I've heard many great things. So
cool.
Yeah, I think it should be good. Okay, let's talk about the Beckett lines here in the Risk trailer. Woody Harrelson's character, and these lines are delivered, you know, one after the other. And I don't know if they're from the same moment in the movie or not, but he says, these people are not your friends. And then he says, there's a lesson to be learned here. And that really seems like hinting very strongly, or kind of indicating very strongly, that a betrayal will be part of the film, like we were talking about earlier. So it'll be curious to see like who is it that like these people refer to that are not your friends, like who's going to turn on him, kind of like, well, is it going to be everybody who does that. I kind of thought, you know, and talked about it in my kind of solo trailer show that I did, that you know, maybe he would be the best example of this, since he's like the voice saying, hey man, people will turn on you. Like maybe that's a speaking from experience thing, like not only of it having happened to him, but like that he will do that as well, you know. Kind of like DJ in The Last Jedi. He was like, don't trust people, don't join people, like, you know. And then he turned out himself to be like a living embodiment of that philosophy, which I would assume will be probably what we get with Beckett as well.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when the original casting news was coming out about this movie, and like finding out that Woody Harrelson was going to be in it, and being like, I can't really picture Woody Harrelson in a Star Wars movie. And now, just like the little bit we've seen of Beckett, I'm like, I can't picture a Star Wars movie without Woody Harrelson. Like,
well, I can picture Star Wars movies without him, but I know what you're saying. Like, I can picture about 9 of them.
No, I feel like they need to go back and add him in the true special editions.
Yeah. No, yeah, no. I think he seems great. Like, I think he'll be like fantastic in that mentor role. I think he'll be perfect for it. And I do, and you know what? He's a great actor. Like, obviously, you know, he's got like the kind of classic Woody Harrelson comedic kind of vibe, like that he can do and does a lot. And like, I feel like, you know, he's kind of known for, and people think of him as being like a little bit on the goofy side and all that stuff. But like he can be, you know, fantastic in dramatic roles and stuff. And, you know, he was amazing in the first season of True Detective and, you know, lots of other things too. But I think if he is going to double cross Han, that could be a really emotional moment for Han and an important moment for Han. You know, I think Woody could pull that off extremely well. So that I'm looking forward to. And I think I think I briefly mentioned this on the last podcast too, but I think it's really interesting that Lawrence Kasdan wrote Solo and that Lawrence Kasdan wrote The Force Awakens, and that The Force Awakens, like Han Solo in The Force Awakens, you know, the primary thing going on with him is him being a father, you know, like a surrogate father for like Finn and Rey, but more importantly, obviously, you know, Kylo Ren's father, and like, you know, his sacrifice at the end of that movie is all related to that, everything, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, the idea that we're like exploring like Han Solo and his original father figure in Beckett, I'm assuming in this movie, like those two movies, those two scripts being written by the same person, like where are we going to see the, you know,
connective tissue? Yeah.
And the way that each enriches the other, like Han Solo as a parent, Han Solo as a child, and how those things will kind of connect to one another. I think it'd be like brilliant, you know?
Yeah. And once again, like, I'm just going to keep plugging this because I love it so much. Last Shot also begins to, you know, also continues to explore that as well.
Yeah, with little Kylo Ren, or little Ben Solo, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
yeah. Last thing from this Risk trailer is Lando tossing the blaster to Han, which just looks like a fun like shootout moment.
So cool.
Yeah, and he pronounces his name Lando style, which before I even saw this trailer ever, or this TV spot, like I looked at Twitter and saw like 10 different tweets being like, he said Han, you know, which was really good. So yeah, he's channeling Billy D. He does say Han.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's not quite as Han, you know, as Billy D, but he's definitely not saying Han.
He's got to grow into it.
Yeah. yeah. We'll see how it sounds when he delivers the lines a little higher in the movie, like how Billy D that is. But that's one of the classic. Cool. All right. Then real quick, there is another TV spot number 7 is how it's listed. This is all coming from well, not this all, but like this TV spot, the fact that I even know it exists, etc., is coming from makingstarwars.net, which is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Star Wars sites. And they posted this one, and just like two really cool shots from this. It's not on the official Star Wars YouTube. I don't know why it's called 7. I was trying to like go through how many, like if you count all the teasers and trailers and stuff that have come out, I was counting like 6 or 5 that have come out before this one. So I would think this would make it 6, but I don't know. Anyway, it's called TV Spot 7. Maybe there's something I don't know. Oh, no, there's not an is there an international, like a Japanese trailer? I think there is actually.
Okay.
Maybe that's why this is TV Spot 7. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'll put a link to the Making Star Wars story in the notes. But Rio Durant speaks here.
Yay!
Yeah, Rio Durant is a cool looking character. Jon Favreau is a guy that people like, and he is voicing Rio Durant. So between the character looking really cool and being voiced by somebody people are into, potential there to be another great character as well.
And also having a great name based on a great band and a great song.
Yeah. So you think the fact that the character's name is Rio Durant is a reference to the song Rio by Duran Duran? I don't know if I see it. No, totally. I'm kidding. Yes,
yeah.
It seems very much
it's really subtle. It's LOST.
Yeah.
Subtle.
Yeah. And it is a great song. And so that character should be great. So that's cool. And then there is a great shot of Enfys Nest on his / her speeder. So that's pretty cool too, because we'll talk in just a second about the toys, and I have a toy of that, and it's a pretty cool design. So that's a cool moment as well. But yeah, I guess overall these 3 TV spots, the WrestleMania trailer, etc. Like, I love this time in the lead up to a Star Wars movie when we're getting these TV spots that are like mainly like just like different cuts of the like shorter rearranged cuts of the trailer we've already seen. So it's not giving that much more away really at all, but they'll just be like a moment or two in there, you know? I think that's super fun. Like I'm really looking forward to like another, 4 weeks of a couple TV spots a week coming out where it's like, I'm watching almost the same thing I've already seen, but
here's a new weird alien.
Yeah, exactly. Like 3 seconds of new footage, or just like a little, like a different line or something.
Totally.
I think that's really fun. So I'm sure there will be more on the way, next week and beyond. So that'll be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I remember with Last Jedi, I remember like it was like so long ago. Back in the day when we were watching these for Last Jedi, I remember we were like, with the different TV spots, we're like, cool. And then there was like the one where like, I think it was like one of the last ones where suddenly like it like called into question like Rey's alliances when she when she's like, we're just like, oh, these are nice. Then all of a sudden she has Kylo's lightsaber, and we're like, wait, what is going on here? And then they're like, okay, just wait for the movie now.
Yeah.
I wonder if there will be like a final one, like a week or two before the movie, where we're like, oh wow, that is going to be interesting.
That would be cool. I can see some ways that could happen. I do think that like the thing with this, and it's kind of a nice thing, honestly, especially with it following only 5 months after Last Jedi. But like, it's kind of nice that we don't have. I don't know. It's weird to say because like Han Solo is one of everybody's like favorite characters, obviously. But it's a little bit like the prequels where you already know the outcome of Han Solo's story and Lando Calrissian's story and Chewbacca's story, which is why like a lot of people were laughing about the Mania trailer, how it ends with like, is Chewbacca's head going to get smashed into that rock? Like, unless Wookiees can grow heads back after that happens, like, I don't think it's, you know what I mean? There's not really much suspense there. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that like the trilogy movies, especially the sequel trilogy, because we don't know where it's going, there's the potential for like shocking moments and epic like reveals and stuff. And so, I just find myself like kind of like trying to rip apart those trailers for like little morsels of like, things I can analyze. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm a lot less analytic with these solo trailers and more just like, man, this is fun,
Yeah.
So, but you never know. I mean, there could be like Enfys Nest we know very little about. And I think there's the potential that something.
Maybe Snoke.
I hope not Snoke. I don't think Snoke. But
Are we like officially done with Snoke theories now? Is it safe to say we can like put those to rest, or
I don't
are
think it
those
is
still
safe to
brewing?
say. Am I done with Snoke theories? I would say pretty much for the most part, but
Yeah. Okay.
no, I
Is
mean
that
honestly, like
still a thing that's happening?
I think it is like
Yeah.
to a much lesser degree, but like once episode 9 is out, I think then that's when they'll really probably go back and like
Yeah.
get into stuff about Snoke's past. So, um, I think going into episode 8, it was like people were hoping, oh, episode 8 will reveal what I want to know about Snoke, but it didn't. It closed off some opportunities, but there's still a lot of
Yeah.
questions about Snoke and his origin and all that stuff. So, but let's talk about some of the solo merchandise that has dropped.
That eventually stores decided to put out.
yeah. Well, let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk about the toys. Wookiee Weekend was supposed to be last weekend, April 13th, I believe. Friday the 13th was meant to be the launch day. At least we thought it was. There wasn't really any like announcement of that. I don't think, was there? Like,
it was just what everyone was saying. I don't know. Like, there wasn't anything formal, I guess.
Right. Like, stuff was probably like from online retailers had like a release date of April 13th. And, the cases coming in to the stores had like the don't put out until April 13th on them. So we knew that was like the day that stuff was releasing. And then I think there was talk like a couple months ago of like, oh, maybe, Wookiee Weekend, be on the lookout for that or whatever. But then they never really did anything with it. I think partially maybe because of Toys R Us, the awful situation with Toys R Us going under. Maybe that's part of why. But yeah, I know I went out on a Friday afternoon, that Friday specifically, to find some solo stuff. And it was a pretty disappointing display that Friday afternoon at first. I went to a Walmart Friday morning, actually. On the way to work, I was like, well, let me just sneak into this Walmart on the way to work and see if I can find anything. And they had like nothing. Then I went to a Meijer after work, and they had a few things, but it was definitely not like a total reset where like all the all the Last Jedi stuff was like, gone or shoved to the side, and then like the full solo display put out. So it was pretty nerve wracking. There was like, oh my God, like are they just gonna like, kind of release this stuff in little pieces over the next, I don't know, however many weeks or whatever. But my experience was that by Saturday, things were pretty good. What was your experience with this stuff like? Remind me.
Yeah. So I went to Target after work, and they had like 0 of the solo, like 3 3/4 inch single carded figures out there. But like I did get like the Lando 2-pack, and then the vintage collection Snoke, and maybe most exciting, the Luke and the Wampa.
Okay, yeah.
So I got those, and I was like, this is cool, but like, I'm not here on like the solo release, solo figure release to, buy Snoke and Luke. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, those were like cool things to add to my collection, but like, I really wanted to buy, solo figures, and like the Lando 2-pack was all there was. And then like I went over to a Walmart, and it was, like you said, just nothing. And then after that, I like went home and ate dinner, and was a little despondent, little bit bummed. Started looking around on like the like Yak Face forums and on Rebel Scum to kind of see like what other collectors' experiences are. And like some people were like posting pictures like, oh, I found all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I need to get back out there. So so I went back out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to the big Target, the main Denver Target. This is where they have like the midnight releases of everything. They have like where, they take an entire section of the store and devote it to Star Wars with each of like the saga films. And this is the big one. And I went there and absolutely nothing on the shelves. And I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on with this. And then for me, it wasn't until I went to Target again on Tuesday that I actually found anything.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So I had on the Meyer trip on Friday afternoon, I got the Lando and Kesselguard 2-pack. So, that was like a good feeling to come out of the store with that, but they didn't have much else as far as solo stuff goes. But then I went to Target on Saturday morning. And it was funny because, like, I don't know if you know that brand Hunter that does like Hunter boots and all that stuff. Like, okay, well, it's like a thing that people are into, that like fashion and stuff, I guess. And so my wife was all excited about like this Hunter, like they had exclusive Hunter merchandise coming out at Target on that Saturday morning. And we got there it opens at 8, so we got there like 7:30 a.m. And there was like probably like 15 people that were like not lined up, but like waiting in their cars because it was like really cold here that morning. But like, yeah, waiting in their cars, like all ready to go in there. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I catch myself being like, this is so dumb. Like, why are all these people like here, like waiting to get these boots and these backpacks and stuff? And it's like, oh, I'm 35 years old and I'm here because I'm hoping like there'll be new toys out there, Yeah. So I guess like,
don't get judgy.
Yeah, I can't do it. Like boot fandom is just as legitimate as, 3 3/4 inch toy fandom, I guess, or whatever. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, anyway, I went in there and unfortunately it was like a disappointing morning for her because they didn't have any of the stuff there that she wanted. But the solo section was pretty stacked. Like they had a lot of good stuff, more than I could afford to leave with. That's for sure. So, most of the things I wanted, I was able to get. So, I thought, I was like, okay, well, they definitely dropped the ball on Friday. Like, I didn't go to Target, so that stuff could have been out on Friday at Target. I don't know, but I went to 2 stores on Friday and didn't see much, and then the first store I went to on Saturday had basically everything, or at least seemed like they would have had everything to start. So it was good. Yeah,
cool.
Yep. Let's talk about the stuff we've picked up so far. We both have the Lando and Kesselguard 2-pack, right? I think the Lando figure is pretty great. The little cape and scarf, removable cape and scarf is cool.
Just don't move his arms up or it gets real weird.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Let me try that right now. I've got him here. Let's see. Like what happens if
you got to have the cape on him.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no. The cape is like when it's action time, the cape comes off, I feel. Although in the moment when he throws Han his blaster and says, Han, I think the cape is on in that moment, so yeah, he should be able to do it.
But so like if you pull his arms up when he's got the cape on, the cape goes up all high and it looks really weird. So
I actually kind of like that. I kind of like the way it looks with the cape up there.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, he's a cool figure. It's a good sculpt,
It is.
I think he's got a good Donald Glover vibe. I don't understand the holster on his leg though. That was the one thing about it that I didn't get, because like the blaster it comes with doesn't seem to fit in that holster at all. So that was one for me. I didn't really understand that. And then the Kesselguard, I don't know what to think about that. The figure looks cool. I like the sort of like, what would you call it? Like the tri-mount, like blaster tripod, like cannon thing that it comes with. I like that because I don't know, like Force Awakens toys specifically came with like these accessories that were just like ridiculous. Like they didn't
the armor.
Yeah, they were awful. Well, the armor, but then also they would have like these chase pieces with them that, if you get 3 different figures, you can put them together to create this like, garishly colored, like weird weapon thing that nobody's ever seen in a Star Wars movie, and it just didn't make any sense. So the fact that this Kesselguard comes with like an accessory that seems to fit with that character and is all in this one set instead of having to get multiple characters and try to put it together, I think is really good.
Sure.
So I don't know what Kesselguards are, what they do, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
I mean, I would assume they, keep tabs on the miners,
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
but yeah, because like looking at the figure here, like he has like a staff that looks like it has some kind of electronic element to it. So maybe it's a staff with some electroshock in there.
Uh-huh.
And he also seems to have like a metal like half skirt thing on the front, which I mean that might just be for protection because it's like a mine. I don't know.
Versus being for fashion or what? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty fashionable, but
Uh-huh.
it's a good look.
I like that at the helmet or whatever is like that yellow color too. I mean, it's like it's a little more like a little different than the Lando shirt color, but like
Yeah,
I think this movie should have like bright colors and stuff like that, at least at
yeah,
times. So that was something we talked about initially. Is like, oh, it looks a little more. I don't know, like visually, it looks a little more like Rogue One or something, a little darker than I expected. So,
hmm
seeing these flashes of like bright colors and stuff in some of the designs, I think is nice. So, looking forward to that. Let's see what else. You didn't get the Enfys Nest yet, did you?
No, I'm staying away from the vehicles for now. I do really want an Enfys Nest figure, but it looks like he's coming in a upcoming wave of vintage collection.
Oh, okay.
So I'm probably just going to grab that. I don't have the
It's
space
hard to
for
find the
vehicles.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
but I think the bike looks really cool, and I love the character design, but just don't
Yeah,
have the room.
no, I can see that. Maybe I'll double dip on the vintage collection version. We'll see,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's a cool toy for sure, and pretty happy with like the price on this. I don't
Mhm.
remember this is like what they call the Class B vehicle, I think, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly. And actually, pretty happy with the price on the Lando and Kesselgar too, because it's like what 14.99 or something for two figures, but then it also comes with like that cannon or whatever. So I think that's a good, that's definitely like it's not really a discount, I guess necessarily, but
Mhm.
because they're about $7 or $8 for a figure. But to get two of
Yeah.
them and have that cannon in there with it, I think it's a pretty good price. And then Enfys Nest with the swoop bike, if I'm remembering correctly, was $20, and I
Yeah.
think to get a vehicle and a figure like that's pretty good. And then I don't have the Han and the Han and his speeder
Mhm.
set, but I think that's $20 also, and that's like
It's 30.
is that 30? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes more. I mean, that's a pretty
It's a
big
bigger box.
bigger
Yeah.
vehicle and stuff, so that's cool. But even that's not bad, I don't think. So
Sorry, yeah.
yeah. Let's see what else. You got Akira.
I did. I
Good sculpt
did.
on that.
Um pretty good. Pretty good. I think it's probably I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it's her face kind of looks like Laura Dern.
Oh yeah.
Um I, g- I keep seeing some Laura Dern in her face. I don't know if this is even going to show up on
Yeah,
the
it's focused
camera.
on you instead of the figure, so I don't know if we can.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
But I think her outfit is cool, and um, yeah, I think it's a pretty good looking figure overall.
cool. Yeah, I thought the Black Series, and like the shampoo bottle, the 12-inch Kira,
Uh
like
huh.
those capture the likeness pretty well. I thought so. That was good. Um, but yeah. So okay, cool. I didn't get her yet. I did see her. I had her in my cart, but then like I looked behind. I don't know, like one of the other two pack, you know, or I don't know what it was behind, but anyways, I looked behind some other stuff and saw the Enfys Nest speeder bike and figure, which I hadn't had, I hadn't seen, and so I had to put Kara back for the time being to get that because
Mm.
I was pretty excited about that. So I had to do that, but I will get a Kira hopefully on my next run to the store.
Nice.
So yeah, she's probably next on my list. And looks like you also got a range trooper.
I did, and this figure is awesome. I'm really really happy with this one. The like I love like the weird like trench coat and like the weird metal boots and the helmet and like the fur like shoulder pad thing. It's like a super hefty figure. It's just cool looking. Like it reminds me of like some of the I don't know, like the thicker like clone troopers from some of those figures from the prequels, and like specifically like the Republic Commando figures. I think there's only like maybe one of those or two of them, but like yeah, it's got that kind of vibe. Which is a little different than like the kind of sleek stormtrooper that we're used to.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I definitely am looking forward to grabbing one of these as well. So that should be good. What else did I get? Well, I guess that's kind of it for the Solo stuff, right? Solo specifically. Like there's other stuff in the Solo line, but that's it for like Solo figures that we got.
Yeah, and I do want to say like it's kind of weird that there's no single Han figure.
Yes.
In the line, you have to buy him either with the $100 Millennium Falcon, the $30 Speeder, or the $25 Force Link wristband thing.
Oh, is that only $25 for the Force Link?
25 or maybe it's 30. I'm not sure.
It was 30 for that too, but I'm not positive.
But that's also like a super hard sell when every store I go in has that like that new wristband for $25 or $30, and then they have the Last Jedi one like on. They have tons of Last Jedi ones on clearance for like $8.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard thing. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, obviously, best case scenario is that they release a Han on a single card. You know, like that would be best for the consumer. You know, best for us. I think for sure. On the other hand, I think it's super like it makes a ton of sense that in every single one of these 3 3/4 inch figures from The Last Jedi on features this Force Link technology in it that you want to get like people, you want to get the Force Link out to kids, mostly to kids, I think, but like you want the kids to have the Force Link. And, I think they tried to do it with The Last Jedi to put the Kylo Ren in there, you know what I mean? The exclusive Kylo Ren. And it didn't really work, I don't think. So, now to say like, well, everyone's going to want a Han. And so we'll give them the opportunity to get a Han with the Force Link, and that way everybody will get it. I don't know. It's it's not necessarily consumer friendly, but I do think it's kind of logical from that perspective. So, but I don't have a Han yet because like I have a limited amount of money I could spend on toys the day the Han Solo toys came out, and I chose to spend that. I'd rather get a Enfys Nest with a swoop bike than to get the Force Link 2.0, especially because the thing is so hard to operate, And I guess we can just talk about it now, but like I got the app, the Force Link 2.0 app on my phone, which I was kind of excited about that part of it because it was like, okay, well, they're putting an app out. Maybe I don't need the Force Link. Like maybe that can be for kids and they want to play with it and stuff. But like for me, I could just, somehow use the figure and the app to like hear the sounds or whatever. But I have no idea how this app works. It is so confusing. It seems like a real blunder. First off, it wasn't out the day the toys came out, so you couldn't get it. I don't know when it actually came out, but I looked for it yesterday and it's out, but it just makes no sense to me. I don't know. It's got like it's kind of repetitive of the Hasbro Pulse app, which like lets you create like a log or whatever, like a collection of toys that you have. So you can look in there and see all the different ones that you have or whatever. And you can do that with this ForceLink 2.0 app. It's got some kind of AR thing where like you can click on the name of a figure and it'll bring up the camera, and then it will show like a little, like I did it with Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi, and it'll show him like like a holographic version of him like rotating on a thing, like in your room, like, oh, I can like, you know, move it around and see. So like I held the figure up to that image thinking like, oh, maybe I need to put the actual figure where this like holographic projection is, because otherwise why use the camera? You know what I mean? Like I thought the camera was like to identify the figure IRL, but I don't think it didn't do anything. Anyway, I thought, well, I have all these figures here. I can click on them and it'll like make the sounds from the toy. Definitely not. At least not that I could tell. So it's just really strange. And then there's like 65 figures like listed within the app right now that are ForceLink compatible. And it shows that I own all of them. Like I haven't logged any of them, but it shows that I own them all. Like, oh, you have 65 out of 65 ForceLink toys.
Oh, congratulations.
So, yeah. And then maybe the worst part about it, not to like freak out here and go on a rant, but like the worst part about it is like all the solo stuff is not available yet. You have to, that's going to come with an update to the app. So, yeah, the ForceLink 2.0 app, which, you know, is ostensibly linked to the ForceLink 2.0 toys, which are the Han Solo toys. Those toys aren't even like live in the app yet. So I don't know who this is for or what it's supposed to do, but it's pretty confounding. So maybe when they update it, it'll make some kind of sense. But like, there's no instructions, there's no tutorial, there's no, you know, I know people who play games like love to complain about tutorials or whatever, but like opening up an app and having like no instruction or indication of what it's supposed to do or how you're supposed to use it is not the best.
Yikes.
Yeah. Okay, other toys real quick. I got the Vintage Collection Snoke, as did you.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. The robe is great. As is the case with Vintage Collection toys, it's a little harder to make him stand up unless you get him in the perfect position because he's more
points of articulation.
Yeah, more points of articulation means more likely
more problems
to fall over. Yeah, more articulation, more problems, right? No, he's a great figure though. Sculpt looks great. The fabric, the gold fabric robe is really good. Like you can, it sparkles kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a nice attention to detail there. The sort of like neck on the robe, like the plastic part. I'd have to look at like an image of Snoke again, but it's like this like weird like brownish yellow color, which matches the belt. So I don't know, but then the robe itself is like this bright gold color. So if this is supposed to be part of the robe, like they definitely could have made that a little more yellow or gold, I think. But otherwise he's great. He's cool. So
yeah, and I think we both have been like so desperate to get a Snoke figure that's not part of like a $200 playset.
Yeah.
That was actually really exciting. I know that there is a like regular 5 POA Snoke coming in, I think maybe the next wave of solo merch. But that will probably have like a plastic robe, I'm assuming.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think this is what I'm saying is like, yes, I jumped at the first opportunity to buy a Snoke figure that I had, but at the same time, like, I think this is the one I would have chosen.
Yeah, it's nice to have like the more detailed Snoke. I'm not seeing like a Snoke on as part of the solo, because you shared with me the solo unofficial checklist from
it's wave 2 of the ForceLink 2.0.
Oh yeah, I'm not seeing this. There it is, right there in wave 2. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, you know what? Honestly, I think I will definitely probably pick that up as well. So.
Yeah, I'll have to look. I mean, this is kind of like the ultimate Snoke figure, though. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I've got kids, specifically my younger son, who likes to play with my toys and stuff. So, which I let him and don't let him at the same time. Like I have all the accessories like put up so that he can't get to them, and like I keep them in my office. Like he's got like all my old Star Wars toys though, and a giant bin that he can play with. And then I do let him play with it, but I get a little more like I don't want to lose them or have them be broken and stuff. So to have like duplicates of certain toys, like if I ever come across like with Rogue One, like I would come across like Jin or so toys that were on sale for like $2 or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll just grab some more so that like he can have those, so
yeah.
But yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Range Trooper we talked about. Vintage Collection Hoth Rebel Soldier.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I grabbed that. Pretty happy with it too.
Okay.
I just thought it was a cool looking figure, and I actually don't have any Hoth Rebel figures.
Okay.
In my collection previous. I know there's been like plenty released. But I did not have one, and I saw this and I was like, cool, I like it. And the multiple points of articulation work really well with the figure, because you can pose him to hold his rifle in interesting ways, and it's pretty cool. So
okay, nice
pickup.
Yeah, one thing I like about the vintage collection is I was able to open that Snoke figure like in a way that did very little damage to the package.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Like the card stays pretty clean.
Yeah, I just like slid a knife underneath the bottom to like pull up the tape or whatever, and then I just kind of like pulled that bubble back, and I feel like if I want to, I could put the figure back in the bubble, and it would look almost new or whatever, like up on the shelf or something. So I don't know that I'll do that, but I definitely kept the packaging because. Man, there's something about it, and like I don't know. I don't think I would do that for most characters. Maybe I'd throw the bubble away and keep the card. But there's something about like Snoke, this like sequel trilogy figure in the vintage packaging. I want to get
the Kenner.
Yeah, I want to get the Rey also. I never got like the Black Series 3 3/4 inch Rey, which I would love to, like as many Rey toys as possible. And a really cool one would be nice. But then I think the same thing, like that picture of her on Jakku, on that vintage card looks like really cool. So
yeah.
Okay, maybe last thing, Porg 2-pack. You got the Porg 2-pack?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
It's only $5, right?
$5.99.
Okay.
So yeah, I have something that's cool. Like one of the Porgs are completely stationary, and it just hangs out. There's no anything to it. But let me grab the other Porg here, and this Porg here. Let's see. Let's get him up here. Probably really hard to see, but you can actually move his wings.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
No, they are tiny, aren't they?
Yeah. It's
to scale. Yeah.
Like they're actually set to scale with the 6-inch figures, but I put them on my 3 3/4 inch shelf, and it's totally fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen those out on the shelves yet, but I probably will pick up at least maybe 2 of those at some point. Just 2 packs. I mean,
yeah.
But it's like, man, $6, especially if they ever go on sale for like $4.99 or something like that, or even $3.99. Like the idea of just like filling a cart with those things and having like not actually filling a cart, but like just having porgs all over the place, and in the Star Wars room here would be pretty great, I think. So.
Yeah, I'd like to actually get a few more, just to kind of like pepper my shelves.
Yeah,
with Porgs.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay. Well, we should probably transition out of the Hasbro toys and stuff here. But did you want to talk about like the stuff that you're looking forward to that's coming up here?
Yeah. So wave 2 of the basic figures, we got Malak coming. Pretty excited about that. I mean, like a lot of these are figures, of characters that we have a million figures of already, and it's like my interest in them is going to be like solely based on like if the figure looks really good, if I really like the figure. So we got like more Leia and Kylo Ren, and then in wave 3 some Luke and Vader, and Ray. But then wave 4 is where things get interesting. So wave 4, we're getting Tobias Beckett, Rio Durant, Val, Quay Tolsite, who I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, no.
No idea. Okay. L3, Mud Trooper, and Royal Guard.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure if the Royal Guard is if that's a solo thing or if it's just like a, like a Red Guard.
I think it is the Royal Guard from the Target exclusive Emperor Luke Royal Guard 3-pack.
Okay.
That's the guess. That's what I would guess, because that's a cool figure, obviously, and
yeah.
Force Link enabled.
Yeah. So wave 4 is when we get to the good stuff. But then
no, I wonder how these waves are going to be released too. You know what I mean? Because like 2 and 3 are so like repack heavy.
Yeah.
That I would think they would come out on the same day, and maybe like all 3 of these, like 2, 3, and 4, would just all come out at the same time, or I don't know.
I wonder if 4 is going to be like the wave that releases like around the time of the movie, because it has like the most unknown characters and movie specific ones.
Right.
But there's also going to be some 2-packs in wave 2, which are interesting. We'll actually get a Han Solo figure and a Chewbacca in their Mimban garb.
Yeah, those ones look. Have you seen those ones?
Yeah,
all covered in mud.
Yeah. Also, I did want to say the Mimban Stormtrooper I have not been able to find anywhere. I've not even seen one on the shelf.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I have either.
Yeah, so that's a tricky one. But some of those like like the trooper variants are always a challenge because there's so many, like troop builder collectors that they just like get those right away.
Yeah.
And then also in the wave 2-packs, Rebolt and Carillion Hound.
Yeah. I don't think have you seen images of that one? I don't think
I have not. The only Rebolt I've seen is in the Lego set. So like I don't even know what that character looks like.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And then vintage collection, some really great stuff coming there. Wave 2 in Enfys Nest vintage collection figure, an actual solo figure. And then wave 3, this is what I've been waiting for, Dr. Aphra.
Yeah.
That I am so stoked for. That is one that I'm actually going to buy 2 of. I'm going to buy one for, to open and put him on my shelf, and I'm also going to buy one to leave carded.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited. Like she's my favorite like new non-film Star Wars character. So yeah, I'm so stoked about that.
I would imagine that's going to be a popular figure, for sure. Like the Aphra fans are pretty intense, I feel like. So I think that one will be popular.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, there's some pretty exciting vintage figures coming up for sure. I mean, a lot of these we've seen before in the Black Series at Walmart, the 3 3/4 inch. So just kind of repacks of those, but I didn't get any of those, so that it doesn't really matter to me. I might still,
Well, now is the time to go get them because at Walmart's they're like $4.
No, they're not. Rockford, Illinois Walmart's. I'm not a huge fan of any Walmarts, but the Rockford Walmarts are the worst. Like in terms of, I will see people posting about like getting all these great like figures and stuff for like really cheap. No, not here. They are never on sale. Like if they are, it's like 10% off or something.
Oof.
I never find, like when you got the ATST, like no, I went to like 2 different Walmarts in Rockford and like they did not have those sales. It's just, I don't know.
Oh my God, that thing is so cool for $15.
Yeah. I mean, I can get like I guess I can get the Black Series like 3 3/4 inch figures for maybe like $10 now in Rockford, but they're definitely not on deep discount like other places. Granted, I don't go there very often because I don't really love going there. So, I guess I could be missing out on deals, but yeah, I don't really see those too often. I have a like a warm spot for the Combat Assault Tank Driver Rogue One 3 3/4 inch figure, because I just remember being at the Hasbro panel at Star Wars Celebration, and Steve Evans, who is kind of in charge of the Star Wars stuff, was like, we've got the Combat Assault Tank Driver coming out, and if you're gonna have a tank driver, you gotta have a tank. And then he showed off like the Vintage Collection Imperial Combat Assault Tank, and that's like it was a cool moment. So
nice.
I don't think I'll be able to pick up that $80 assault tank necessarily, but
yeah,
it would be cool. It would be cool. I didn't mention it earlier either, but another thing that I saw when I was out, where is it? Oh, you know what it was? It was the Revell model kit things that they have at Target and other places. There's a cool new Imperial like a stormtrooper like kind of bike thing. What is it called? I took a picture of it here. Imperial Patrol Speeder. And I don't see a toy of that in the Hasbro lineup, unfortunately. But like in the beginning of some of the trailers, when Han's in his speeder and there's like stormtroopers chasing him, and the one like goes flying through the air, like crashes into something, goes flying. Yeah, they're on these like Imperial Patrol Speeders, and these look pretty cool. So, but I don't think Hasbro has one lined up. It doesn't seem like, so that's a bummer. But yeah. But no, I mean, there's a ton of good stuff on the list here. So hopefully this summer will be pretty fun to check out, or to keep picking up, I guess, like Star Wars figures. So no new movie after Solo for a long time, but this year 2018 looks pretty stacked, I think, in terms of toy releases. So should be plenty of fun to be had there.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Maybe like the later waves, like wave 3 and 4, won't even hit until like the holidays.
Or around the time of like the Blu-ray release, like the fall, maybe.
Yeah. I guess that's something to be prepared for, and not be chomping at the bit too much.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe two more things I'll mention real quick. The Darth Vader interactive helmet, the Black Series interactive helmet or whatever. I have not seen that anywhere yet, and I don't know that I would pay the $100 for it, but I have the Stormtrooper and I have the Poe Dameron helmet as well. And my youngest son, we just put batteries in it for the first time. Like, it's been on my shelf and it looks really cool. It's a great display piece, but he wanted to check it out. So we put batteries in it, and he put it on, and he's had a ton of fun with that over the last week. Like every day he grabs it and wears it for a while, and he'll jump into his Radio Flyer speeder, his land speeder, which okay, it doesn't totally make sense, but he likes to wear the helmet, and it's just cool. Like BB-8 talks to you inside the helmet, and like there's like battle sounds and stuff, and it's a pretty cool thing. So I'd like to keep up with that line. The good thing for me, maybe not so much for Hasbro, is that they seem to go on sale pretty quickly.
Yeah,
or like eventually anyway, where you can get them for like $60-$70 or something. Actually, I think I got my Stormtrooper for 40 from Best Buy. So yeah, I would like to get that down the road. And then the other thing that I really want to get, and I did see it at Best Buy, but wasn't able to pick it up yet, is I really want to get the Han Solo card game from Hasbro, which is $20. I don't know if you've seen that, but
no, what is
the
that?
Cards? Well, it's like you play this card game, and the winner wins the Millennium Falcon in the end. Like, so it's like like the game, the sabacc, I guess, that Han and Lando play for ownership of the Falcon. But so that's cool. And but the cards look just like they do in the trailer and stuff. So I think that one looks pretty fun.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we're running long here as we tend to do. Should we talk Denny's real quick?
Oh yeah, we definitely got to talk Denny's.
I got 2 cups. I got a Han cup and a Chewy cup. And I'm hoping to go back and grab the other 2 as well. I haven't done a lot of using those cups since I got them, but they are.
Have you washed them?
Yeah, I have washed them.
Machine wash or hand?
No, I hand wash.
Okay. I'm wondering how they will. It's kind of a weird material. Like the plastic
They're softer than I would have thought.
Yeah, the plastic is a little weird, but it feels like it's, printed on there pretty well. I don't know. We do like 100% machine washing for everything. So I guess we'll find out.
That's crazy too, because you have like all those Alamo pint glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Those are going to get worn down after a while with that machine washing.
They've held up so far.
All right. So yeah, those are great. I got a couple cards. I got Han Solo and Malak for my cards.
Nice.
But I'm curious because you texted me a picture of your Therm Scissor Punch card from Denny's yesterday. Mm-hmm. I'm curious how many packs you bought. Like, how lucky are you at the Sabacc table here? Like, how many packs did you have to buy to get the Therm Scissor Punch?
Well, I had to buy 2.
Okay.
And in both of my packs had the same cards.
Oh, really?
A Therm Scissor Punch and an L3.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, I can send an L3 and a Therm your way.
Okay.
Eventually.
Well, that'd be cool.
But what's really great about these cards is, you only get 2 cards in a pack. But they're $3 a pack. I think $1.75 of it goes to No Kid Hungry, which is a great charitable organization. So, I think that's really cool. But then also you get a Denny's coupon in each pack, and one of the packs, the coupon was just like $1 off a milkshake, whatever. The other pack, we had a coupon that was 20% off your entire order.
Oh, okay.
Which
so it kind of pays for itself almost.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, basically. So like I'm feeling pretty good about buying these packs. Yeah. And I'm already ready to head back to Denny's and give it another go.
Well, I mean, the merch is one thing, but let's talk about the menu. What did you eat off the menu at Denny's, Ryan? Did you get the co-reactor pancake?
I did not.
Ooh.
I actually didn't order anything off the Solo menu.
Oh man. Okay.
I am planning on getting the reactor pancakes probably next time I go for breakfast. But honestly, I was just really in the mood for a waffle.
Okay.
When we went there, so I just got the Belgian waffle, and then I got the strawberry pancake pups.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I went with my younger son, and we just got a couple of drinks in the Solo cups and split a side of fries because it was past lunchtime. And but then I don't know, I can't really order anything off of the Han Solo menu specifically too much. Whereas you have more options than I do in terms of what you can eat specifically from the Han Solo menu. But there are plenty of things that on the Denny's menu in general that I can go for. So I'm into Denny's, but I probably can't enjoy the menu too much. Maybe the burger, but like I think all the things that make it interesting, like on the Denny, like that make it a Han Solo burger, are things that I probably wouldn't eat. So I don't know. But anyway, I am also looking forward to going back to Denny's a couple times before the promotion ends in the summer. Are I really want to go there at like 1 o'clock in the morning and drink coffee and record a Star Wars podcast. But I don't know that that'll ever happen. But it sounds like fun.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. But all right, cool. So Denny's promotion is a go and a very fun thing.
Yeah.
Last thing, real quick here, Ryan. Last shot. You're reading it. My copy comes in the mail today, so I'm going to start reading it as well. But
Nice.
You're pretty into it so far, right?
Yeah, I don't want to say really anything about it because like I'm only 30% of the way through it, and I feel like most people haven't even started it yet. So all I'm going to say is that I think it's already one of my favorite recent Star Wars books. There are some pretty great moments in it, and it's a Han and Lando story, essentially, taking place over a few different time periods. But it does such a nice job of bringing in stuff from like the new canon, I guess. So you have it involves characters from like the Marvel comics. It has characters from like the Aftermath trilogy, and it really brings everything together in like a really cohesive way that like makes sense, where you're like, well, of course Han would be interacting with this character at this point. And it's not just like, hey, we're referencing this thing, check it out, wink wink. Like it really just makes sense. And I think if you like haven't read that other stuff, like it's still just the story will flow just fine. It is also one of the legit funniest Star Wars books I've read, like and it there's a lot more I think it really kind of pushes some of the like adult humor and scenarios in a way that I haven't really seen in a Star Wars book.
Yeah, so. I've seen a passage about Lando's pants on Twitter a couple of times. So I don't know if you've come across that yet. But.
Yeah, get ready for maybe some TMI about Lando Calrissian, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, I believe the words ass and bulge were both used in the passage.
Yep. Yeah. There is talk about Lando's bulge.
That seems like maybe a little too much. Like that's like
it works in context.
Really?
Yeah, isolated, because you're like you really like it really captures like these characters at like young Lando and young Han, like or like post Return of the Jedi, like victory. These characters, like it makes sense that they would be like some of the boys talk and such.
Okay, because I'm definitely excited for the book. I'm looking forward to it. But hearing about that, it made it sort of feel to me like, how do I put this? It kind of felt like one step away from a Colt 45 reference or something, like too much of like a caricature of Lando or something. But you say it works in context. I'll take your word for it and try to go into it with an open mind. I'm going into the book excited, but that specific part of it, I'm like,
sure. Like it actually, like it definitely pushes things a little bit, and I think like your mileage may vary on it. But I guess it kind of does it in the same way that I feel like the Aftermath trilogy kind of did at times as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like, oh, that's a weird thing to be reading in a Star Wars book. Mm-hmm. But it also kind of keeps it exciting, and I think it fits with the characters. But it may not work for everyone in the same way the Aftermath trilogy definitely didn't work for everyone. But ultimately, there's enough soul to it that I'm pretty cool with it. But yeah, the book just like reads so well. Like I'm loving it, and you never know with like a first time Star Wars author how it's going to turn out and what to expect. But I don't know. It's really good stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm getting my copy today, so I am excited for that. And next couple weeks, we're probably going to be seeing more TV spots. I'm definitely going to be going out looking for more Solo merch, maybe another trip to Denny's or two. So summer's on its way with it. The release of Solo: A Star Wars Story. It's a pretty fun time, pretty exciting time, and yeah, I'm definitely my excitement for this movie has ramped up quite a bit in the last couple weeks with the new trailer coming out and the toys and all that stuff. So
yeah,
feeling pretty good about Solo, and definitely looking forward to it. I think it's 4 weeks from Thursday is when we'll be going to see that movie. So
oh my goodness,
yeah. So hopefully that'll sneak right up on us. We're both teachers, although I guess you're on a different calendar than I am, because basically the start of my summer is when Solo comes out. So
I'm a year rounder.
Yeah, but you get a decent break in the summer at some point, right?
A few weeks
in June. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't sound like a subject you want to talk too much about.
No, it's totally fine. It's worth it. It's worth it.
All right, cool. So yeah, but I think we'll wrap it up there. So until next time, you can check out everything we do at blockaderunnerpodcast.com. May have some Last Jedi pinball videos going up there and at YouTube. So follow us on YouTube, subscribe there as well. Subscribe on iTunes, leave a review on iTunes. Haven't had any more of those coming in, and could totally use them because we're sitting at a total of 2 right now. Less than 1 review per year on this podcast. So we have more than 2 listeners. I'm pretty sure of that. So yeah, if you could take a couple minutes to review us on iTunes, if you use an Apple device or whatever, that would be really great. I would appreciate it. We did switch to another service called Anchor from Podbean, which is where we were before, and the Anchor app is pretty cool. And that's another place you can look for us, but we're still in all the other places, I hope. And if we're not, you're probably not hearing this, but let us know. And yeah, Twitter, we are on Twitter at the show's account is at Blockade Run. Ryan, your account?
At Brawn Dwarf, BRAWNDWARF.
And email any comments or questions to blockaderunnerpodcast@gmail.com. So we will be back in a couple weeks with another episode. And until then, thanks for watching or listening, and we'll be back soon.
Later.